Here's a quick rundown of the code that we're adding select fire to. We have a player script which is attached to the player. In it we've got a struct called shoot settings which stores all our variables, the important ones here being the fire rate and the time since last bullet, which is saved between frames. Then our start method calls this initialize method. It's part of a static class. And then every frame we're calling a maybe shoot method, and if we're pulling the trigger and enough time has passed since the last shot, then we'll call this fire function, which does stuff like instantiating bullet sparks and bullets. So let's create an enum called fire mode. We'll need it to be public so we can access it from the other class. Full auto, semi-auto, and burst. Now let's add the ability to set that in the shoot settings. Let's just tab it out and make it more readable. Go back to Unity, and now we can set it in the inspector. So going to our shooting class, we'll adjust the parameters defining pulling trigger. So if it's an automatic weapon right now, you just need to hold it down. Now I'll say only if it's an automatic weapon, you can hold it down to fire. Otherwise, what you need to do is press it for the first time, which is the get button down instead of just get button, as you can see here. So that should do it, allow us to switch between semi-auto and full auto. Now let's demonstrate that. This is full auto firing, just holding the trigger down. Now let's go out, change it to semi-auto. Now I have to click every time I want to fire. Now let's switch to burst. And you can see here we haven't set it up yet. It's just doing the same thing as semi-auto. So let's add a number, the shots fired per burst. And then we'll keep track of the number of bursts that have been fired in the current burst. Make sure these are both int values. We'll make this non-serialized since we're not setting it in the inspector. We're just keeping track of it. Now let's add something in the fire function for the successive burst rounds. I'll say if our fire mode is burst, because otherwise it won't matter. If we have no burst rounds remaining, but we are firing a shot, that means that we're just starting a new burst. So we'll set the number of burst rounds remaining to the total number of bursts minus 1 because we've just fired 1. Otherwise, reduce the number of remaining burst rounds by 1. So if we have 2 rounds left, this will set it down to 1 and then to 0 on your next shot. But this won't actually cause it to shoot yet. It'll just give us the information we need to decide to shoot. So let's put in a parameter that if we have burst rounds remaining, then shoot if enough time has passed. There. Now you'll see that code will work. We set our burst rounds to 3 in the inspector, and every time we pull the trigger, it fires 3 rounds. So, working very nicely. Now we want to add the ability to switch fire modes in runtime instead of just in the inspector. So if I press 1 on the keyboard, then we'll switch our fire mode to full auto. If we press 2 and 3, that'll switch to semi-auto and burst, respectively. Let's test it out. Okay, it's currently set to burst. Now I've just pressed 1, so it's full auto. And now let's test out 2, semi-auto. Okay, it works perfectly. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what you'd like to see in a future video. Until then, cheers!